Life is hard and manhood is hard, but how you mold yourself will determine how hard and awful life is for you. Life is never easy for a man. Being easy is not what your life is all about. Happiness is not the purpose of your existence. There will always be difficulties in your life. You have two viable binary choices, and all of the anguish and misery you experience are what men are expected to experience. Either you suffer for all of eternity as a nobody, or you endure the anguish, trauma, and adversity required to be a man of value. And I'd say it's almost worse to be invisible. If you are employed at Starbucks, you can lead a fairly stress-free existence. After work, you stop caring about the Starbucks. You return home, play video games, and carry on living till the end of time. It's stress-free, but you have to live with being unimportant. As an alternative, you may set out into the world, try to leave your mark, put in a lot of effort, strive to become wealthy, earn more money, and solve more problems. You may attempt to launch a company when all you're doing is working. The stress of that could force you to break up with your girlfriend. At least you'll be someone at the end of it all, even though this is a new level of anguish and stress. There are two methods to be in pain. Either you suffer as you become somebody, or you suffer as a nobody for all eternity. What was said by Napoleon? Glory fades, but obscurity endures forever, he declared. Indeed, ignorance endures forever, but glory comes and goes. Furthermore, he makes a really valid point when he states that everything in life is rented, including your masculine glory. It is not a good body overall when you have a good body. It's not done yet. You haven't finished the assignment. Your physical state is excellent. To remember it, you have to practice every day. All of it is rented. Your body, you don't simply wake up with a toned physique. 2. Keep your physique in good shape. You still need to visit the gym daily. It isn't enough to just acquire a gorgeous woman. She won't always love and respect you until you continue to put in the effort. You didn't just wake up one day and become wealthy. No, you must launch your own company and dedicate yourself to it full-time. The business will fail if you lose focus on it. Renting is the way of life. That being said, when he claims that grandeur is ephemeral, he's also accurate. Glory is ephemeral, so you have to strive for it continuously and relentlessly, making sure you never give up. It will be taken from you if not, but shadows remain forever. If you leave no trace behind, you are as if you never happened. No one will care when you're gone. We talk about our father a lot since that's who we find interesting. And it's because of what our sons will become that we will always be talked about. And that's crucial because you owe it to God and your forefathers. Thus, you have to decide. And you folks at home have a legitimate option in this. Do you desire an easy life, to be invisible, to never matter, to dwell in obscurity forever? It's not easier, in my opinion, because you will carry a deep-seated sense of shame knowing that you could have been someone you're not. Or are you content to live your life doing your hardest, enduring hardship and suffering on a daily basis while having to pay for all the wonderful things that surround you? Our rent never ends. We pay rent for our freedom, for our bodies, for our relationships, for our businesses, for our children, and for our independence. It takes labor to pay the rent each and every day. It never ends at all, and you have to make that decision. Thus, if a pen and paper are in front of you, you must make a choice. Would you rather pay less rent and be invisible? Or would you rather be significant and put in a lot of effort and suffering to ensure that the rent is paid? Make a binary choice, and you have to be very committed to the one you ultimately choose. As a guy, you are accountable for everything. It is your duty to develop into the most successful and intelligent version of yourself. You won't just go ahead and do it. By imagining it and speaking it into being, you must see it through to the end. In order to become the guy you want to be, you have to put yourself out there and do things that are actually challenging, unpleasant, or frightening. Therefore, you must accept responsibility for these things, as well as seek them out and make a decision and identify the right challenges for you to overcome in order to develop a character that is worthy of admiration. I think that suffering is what makes us learn. I don't think men in particular can learn anything other than through suffering. We discuss whether it is better to learn a lesson the easy way or the hard way. Well, let me tell you something. During our lives, we have all had the opportunity to learn a lesson the easy way, and guess what? We continued doing it without learning anything new. In men, it is innate and natural. There are instances where a man will drive too fast and come dangerously close to crashing 100 times before realizing his mistake and learning his lesson. We only acquire knowledge the hard way. Pain is the only teacher a man can have. That's my perspective each and every time something unfortunate happens to me. I see it as God trying to teach me how to become a more capable, wiser, and formidable opponent. You have to approach life that way. Adversity faces every single cinematic character and every single hero. No hero film has ever consisted solely on him winning. No, suffering is necessary for one to be a hero, even if you are hurting to some extent. Grieved over your girl leaving you or anything else, remember that suffering is a necessary part of the hero's journey. A hero's journey would not exist without hardship. It is impossible to become a hero if your life is always easy. That's what it means to be a guy, to be meant to suffer. Pain is what you're meant to consume for mourning. It is expected of you to develop into a more positive version of yourself. For a man, that is precisely what life is meant to be about. You must realize that you will suffer throughout the majority of the film, 80% of it. If you aspire to be a superhero in real life, you are going to lose for 80% of the film. Watch any film about superheroes. 80% of the film, it is all suffering, annoyance, and difficulty. Additionally, when your life is that way, you have a chance to grow into something fantastic, and you should thank God for every difficult thing He puts in your path. Think about a superhero movie. A man is unfairly imprisoned in a Romanian jail cell and trained so hard he emerges stronger than ever before. That is a movie. You get to live a movie as a man if all you had was some balls. We are living movie scripts. Why? Because we have bravery. The majority of males sit there wondering why they can't seem to get over their depression at not getting to watch a movie. Nothing revolves around you as the main character. You aren't even a supporting role in some person's film. Since you've always been afraid, you're a meaningless nobody. Your entire life, you have behaved like a coward. If you had some balls, you were scared of what would happen. You then start to question why you're depressed. Naturally, your existence is miserable. I would rather be locked up as me than be at liberty as you. Since you are unable to do anything at all when you are free, wherever you go, you cannot go. You're impoverished. Women don't desire you. Nobody hears you. Therefore, you can't say anything. So what can you do with your freedom? It is okay for me to think and say whatever I want. People think things out and consider whether or not to share them. They doubt their own actions. It's they that they should fear most. Too humiliated to be a coward, that's for sure. You want to feel too embarrassed to make a mistake. Where is your guilt? We demolish that. Isn't that right? We demolish that with men and other things. You know what? My brother has the power to intimidate me into taking action. He can call me a coward and embarrass me. And I'll take a position, declare, no, I'm not, and show courage. Shame can occasionally work on guys. Men often complain, I can't get a girlfriend, as I often tell them. It's because you're failing, I say. You are not a winner. Modify that fact. Prove to yourself that you're not a loser by looking in the mirror. Take action right now, and your life will improve when your soul responds to it. However, males of today have no shame. They won't even feel ashamed as they go around. We then question why there are so many cowards among us. The easy option is always cowardice, but you should be too ashamed to accept it. That's the issue. It is the only route to a truce, the path of man, and the way to victory. It's the only way to truly find contentment within your heart. One route exists. One exists. Eating suffering for breakfast and improving oneself is the only way to find happiness, a path symbolized by manly strength. Pain is the flavor of life. You will be let down if you attempt to alter the flavor. You will get feeble in the end. You will experience extreme misery. Acknowledge and come to like the taste. That's the only way to be a happy and competent man within yourself. Acknowledge and come to like the taste. That's the only way to be a happy and competent man within yourself.